Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 2 of the Fender ukulele bridge reattachment. Okay, so apologies for the first video cutting off. I forgot to keep an eye on the time again, but you hadn't missed anything. I just repositioned the clamps on the bridge and let it set overnight so that it was nice and strong the next morning. So what I've been trying to do today, because the bridge is so small, the footprint of it is just so small, I decided to try and my original plan was to drill holes here, which I've done, and all the way through, and put wooden dowels in there. Well, I since gave that quite a bit of thought and just came to the conclusion that it's still not really going to be strong enough. So I changed the plan slightly, and what I changed the plan to was to still drill the holes here, both sides, fairly wide, but only about half the depth of the thickness of the bridge, and then drill much smaller holes all the way through. And then to attach something which I don't normally do, and to put a very small nut and bolt all the way through. So, you know, cut the holes big enough at the top to allow the heads to go through with a small washer, and but you know, the rest of the hole right the way through the center much thinner, just for the shaft of the screw or the little bolt. And I was doing okay, and then I had a bit of a disaster. So the bridge here split all the way across there. I was afraid that was going to happen, but I didn't really have a choice, because I know for a fact that that's not going to hold on there. It just isn't. You know, I fixed it once already and it's come off. So it's obviously not going to hold. So I tried to go with that idea, knowing full well it could break it, which it did. You know, and I've tried to fix it, but it's no good anymore. So even though the customer, who is a friend of mine, wanted that original bridge on there, it just isn't going to work. It just isn't. So I am going to go ahead and attach this bridge on there, which I've had sitting around for quite a while. Now, as it turns out, it's the same thickness this way, the thickness as the original bridge. Obviously it's quite a bit bigger. Okay, it's considerably bigger, but that means it's going to hold on there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Now, as I said, I showed this to the customer, and he said he didn't really like it. But I'm going to shape it a bit. So I'm going to these ends, I'm going to taper down like you would normally see on a guitar bridge. So I'm going to, you know, taper these down both ends like that, so it'll look a lot nicer. But obviously the first thing I've got to do is remove the old bridge. So it's a pretty simple process to do this, really. Let me just get this camera angled in a position that you're going to be able to see what I'm doing, and you can probably see in the background there an iron, which I haven't plugged in yet, so I shall do that now. Let that start warming up. It doesn't take very long. It's not a steam iron, it's a dry iron, and what I intend to do is to put it onto this bridge to heat it up, which will soften the glue, and then use this spatula to carefully ease underneath and remove the bridge. Now, I have shown this in a previous video before, but you know, I thought this would be a good opportunity to obviously see the same process again. Excuse me. As I said, it is a fairly simple process, but you do have to know what you're doing. You have to be fairly confident as well, and I've done these many times. So you'll see I've got some masking tape all around the bridge to protect the body as much as possible. This bridge being much bigger, the front of it is going to be in the same position. You see, it's hard to see, but where the saddle is in that bridge is in the same position as where the saddle is in this bridge, the new bridge. So the front of it's going to be more or less in the same place, but you'll see that the back of it comes out quite a bit further. So I'm going to remove the bridge from this side. So if I do cause a few scratches and everything along here, it's not going to matter because the new bridge is going to be over that area anyway. So the iron is up to temperature. So I'll just place it on the bridge, being careful not to touch the body of the instrument, and I'll also heat the tool as well. And I've got to be careful because there's not much area here. But this is going to be a pretty good demonstration actually of how easy it is to remove something that's been attached with Tight Bond original wood glue. It's a really good wood glue, one of the best on the market, but it is quite easy to remove when you need to. So let's see if we can make a start on that now. Okay. The problem is I did attach it really well, so I might struggle to get this started, but once I do get it started, it should go fairly easily. Under there, yeah, just starting to go under there now. So you really don't want to force this, you want to take your time, just gently ease the blade underneath without forcing it. Just kind of wiggle it backwards and forwards to get it started. And it is starting to go under there, so it shouldn't take long to pull this one off. Just heat that up a bit more. You know, I never was happy with that bridge. It's just too small to stay attached, and also to do the job it's designed for. I mean, the whole point of a bridge is not only for somewhere to actually attach the strings to, but that bridge through the saddle transfers the sound, the vibration of the strings, into the body. So you need, you know, a decent amount of contact area, and it didn't really provide that. So I'm not sure what the customer's reaction is going to be to me putting this stonking great bridge on, but as I said, this original bridge, it just isn't suitable for the job. I'm sorry, but it isn't. I'm sorry, Fender, but you've made a mistake with this. If this is your original bridge for this instrument, you've made a big mistake, because it ain't no good. It's just too small to do the job properly. It just doesn't even look that nice. Okay, it is starting to go under there. Like I said, I don't want to force it, just want to gently work it in underneath the bridge without causing any further damage to anything else. It's going in quite well that side. Yeah, that's going. It won't be long. Just a bit more heat for this side. It's not quite going as easily. Many people who do this kind of work, they have the, you know, the proper bridge heaters and, you know, all the gubbins and bits and pieces that go with it, but this iron cost me the equivalent of about £4, about $6, and it does exactly what I need it to do. Why spend all that money on the sophisticated equipment when a cheap iron will do just as good a job? Okay, we're almost there. How are we doing for time? I think we're good. Okay. Now the danger of doing this is sometimes without even knowing it, without being able to feel it, rather than just going under the bridge, you end up going under the first layer or two of wood of the top of the instrument, which ain't good. That's not what you want. But I've got a feeling we're okay with this one because it's obviously only been glued on for a few days, and the wood itself underneath the bridge was pretty good to start with. We should be alright, and it's almost off. Just going to heat it one more time just to make sure the glue's soft and I don't end up tearing out too much wood. There may well be some wood tear out, that's sometimes unavoidable, but it shouldn't be too bad. Right, so this last time should get it off now. It's about to pop. There we go. There it goes. That's good. Almost there. Just unplug that iron. And there it goes. She's off. If anything, it's actually left a little bit of the wood of the bridge behind. And you can see, other than that, very, very little damage at all. Hardly anything at all. So that, to be honest, has come off just about as perfectly as you could want. So I'm just going to put that iron out of my way so I don't burn myself on it. And we'll take off the masking tape now, just to check to see if there is any underlying damage, but it looks absolutely fine to me. Okay, all good. That's come off really, really nicely. Obviously I'm going to have to, scrape off all the excess wood and glue again, but what I need to do before I do any of that is to locate where the new bridge is going to go. So the most important, the most crucial part of this job is to make sure that I get the bridge in exactly the right position, in that the saddle needs, or the inside of the saddle, the fretboard side of the saddle, the distance from there to the inside of the 12th fret needs to be exactly the same distance as from the inside of the 12th fret to the inside of the nut. So your 12th fret is your midway point on the fretboard. So once again, the distance between the inside of the nut and the inside of the 12th fret needs to be exactly the same distance as from there, the inside of the 12th fret, to the inside of the saddle. And that's for your intonation. Now, it's quite difficult with ukuleles to check the intonation until the bridge and saddle are actually attached, and then obviously at that point you can't change it, or you can't change it much at all. You can sometimes file the saddle back, or bring the edge forward if you need to adjust intonation, but it's very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do at this stage for the positioning. So I'm just going to do it literally by measurement. I'm going to measure the distance between the nut and the 12th fret, and then the 12th fret and the inside of the saddle, and I'm going to mark it there, and that's where I'm going to place it. So the next stage really is a lot of measuring and calculating and remeasuring and recalculating and positioning, and it does take quite a bit of time. There's not really anything of much interest to see. As I said, it's just measuring, calculating, remeasuring, and just checking. So I'm going to do that off camera, and what I'm going to do is measure it all up, and then once I've got it in the position I want, I'm going to draw a pencil line all the way around the bridge on the body, so that I know where to scrape away the finish so that the glue will stick to the wood. There's no point trying to put the glue on top of this finish, it will not stick. You've got to scrape away all of the finish in the area where you're going to put the glue. So that's what I'm going to do off camera, and I'll bring you back once I've got to that stage. Okay, so I will see you in a second. Okay, so after quite a bit of measuring, checking, calculating, I've got the outline of the new bridge marked out on the body with pencil. You see it quite clearly there. So now what I've got to do is obviously clean up this area, but I've also got to remove all of the finish in this area as well, very, very carefully, so as not to cause any further damage. So it's absolutely crucial, first of all, that I take off enough material so that this bridge will actually sit inside this line. So I've got to take off enough for that to sit in there, but not so much that you can see the finish on the outside of the bridge. So it literally does have to be a fraction of a millimeter perfect. Okay, now that ain't easy, but it's doable if I take my time and really concentrate and you know, just do it very, very carefully and slowly. There's absolutely no rush to do this part. I am not charging the customer 1 red cent or penny for this job, because, as I said, I did reattach the old bridge once before and it's come off again. So I give my work a lifetime guarantee. So if any of my work fails at any time, I will redo the job free of charge. And this is a friend of mine anyway, so even if I was charging him, it wouldn't be very much. Certainly wouldn't be as much as it normally would for an ordinary customer. So this is going to be quite a long, boring process to get all that ready to glue the new bridge on. So I'm not going to film that because it will be just far too much footage of boring scraping and, you know, filing, sanding, whatever. So I'm going to end this video here. So this is the end of part 2. This is going to turn out to be a little bit of a longer project than I originally anticipated, but that's fine. You know, with this new bridge attached, it's going to be so much better in so many ways, and you know, I just hope the customer, my friend, is happy with it, because, you know, this old bridge, it's just no good. They're too small to be able to do anything with. So we're going with its big brother. And it is a ukulele bridge. It is quite a bit bigger than the ones I've seen before. And as I said, at the moment it's not shaped, so I am going to, you know, bevel the ends down and maybe bevel the edges over a little bit more. They're already beveled and they're quite good, but just to, you know, smooth the edges off just a little bit more. Okay, so that is the end of part 2. Part 3 will be coming along soon, and as and when I get back to the cigar box guitar project, I don't know, that's on hold for now, so there's no rush for those, but this needs to be done. Okay, so if you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up and share, comment, subscribe, etc. if you haven't already, and why not you know, show this video to some of your friends and colleagues, etc. Get them to subscribe too, hit the notification bell. In the meantime, all of you, please take care. Peace out.